Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever it is for you, wherever you are. I hope that you are safe and that you are doing well. So, before we get into the state of emergencies, I do want to wish my youngest daughter, Tiana, a very happy 18th birthday on April 18th. Look at that. God is so good. Thank you for being a part of my journey, my learning, and you teaching me more and more each and every day. And I'm looking forward to all the great things that are to come for you. So let's get into the state of emergency that is at hand. So, next state of emergency happened a while ago. But needless to say, I believe this state is still in a state of emergency. And they're being robbed. The residents are being robbed. The victims are being robbed. And they're being robbed by their own officials. Allegedly.
Never up, never down, never.
It was April 25th, 2014. Then Flint Mayor Dane Walling flipped the switch to draw the city's water supply from the Flint River. And at that moment, it was a celebration. It, of course, also set off a chain of events that'll be felt for decades to come.
So we've received some early indications that maybe by the end of this year, dollars will be distributed to families that was adversely impacted as a byproduct of the water situation.
Mayor Sheldon Neely says now is the time to make sure your documents are in order as law offices and the federal courts are finishing up their checks and balances.
I semi-followed the claim, I would say.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, I don't think I got everything properly in order according to the information that I've been getting back.
I think the question has become, can you drink the water in Flint now? It's been 10 years. 10 years after lead poisoning, Flint residents still haven't been paid from the $626.25 million fund. This is what the water looked like. Residents of Flint, Michigan still haven't seen a penny from a $626.25 million legal settlement almost a decade after revelations their drinking water was poisoned by lead. It touched an outcry nationally. And there are still months of additional delays in store, even as others connected with the lawsuit have been paid millions from the settlement fund announced in 2020, according to an analysis of court records by the Detroit Free Press, part of the USA Today network. Officials overseeing the claims administration process first said it would likely be completed by March 2023. As that deadline passed, residents were told they might expect payments around last Christmas. On February 28th, the special master helping the federal judge manage the case, attorney Deborah Greenspan, said an initial claims review is targeted for completion around the end of June 2024, with completion of requests for reconsideration and appeals to follow that. Lawyers were in line to collect before victims blamed the state of Michigan for structuring the settlement so that claimants get paid last. As defended in the case, the state put up the bulk of the settlement fund, $600 million. They say that they're streamlining this process that allows claims to be processed and paid out as they were completed and ensured everyone impacted by the crisis was paid and as quickly as possible. Florida attorney said, who is also the co-lead class counsel in the Flint case. However, the state insisted on a grid in which the amount of every claim was dependent on every other claim, and fairly high levels of documentation were required for each claim. So basically, they're making these people go through hoops and hurdles to get their claims processed and paid out to them. To me, this is a state of emergency. They fumbled pretty much everything with even flipping that switch and going off the Flint River for drinking water. Mind you, if you were upper class living in better areas, you weren't getting that water. You were getting better water than what the other residents were getting. And now the residents are getting the short end of the stick again, is what it's looking like to me. It says, under the terms of the settlement, no Flint claimant gets paid until all of the roughly 90,000 claims on behalf of about 46,000 Flint residents are fully resolved. So they're taking your claim. You're basically put on hold for getting any payouts until all of the claims have come in and all of them have been fully resolved, including appeals. That makes no sense to me. And it's saying that, meanwhile, lawyers for some residents who filed claims have already died. Others have left the state. What is going on with the money? What is happening in Flint, honestly? You give these people lead water, children, babies affected, seniors affected, and now you're taking your time with paying them the money. The money is there, but you're taking your time with paying them the money. That makes no sense to me. So it goes on to say that the level of delay is not typical. In many class action or mass tort cases, conservative payments are made to many claimants while the review process continues, with the understanding there could be supplemental payments later after all claims are fully resolved. So they want to wait till every claim come in, every claim go through. Meanwhile, when you're turning in your claims, listening to that one woman, when you're turning in your claims, if it's not in order or you don't have the particular items they're asking for, you have to refile. It's just too much. It is too much. They need to make it easier. They made it easy for the people to become sick and ill. So why are you doing this to the people yet again? Resident Carol Sewell, age 68, blames the poisoned water for her brother's near death in 2016 and her painful rheumatoid arthritis. Her home still has a lead-tainted water heater. She can't afford to replace it. Sewell said in a February letter to U.S. District Judge Judith Levy, "We still purchase bottled water with our food stamps. Is there rightness or justice in the Flint water crisis? Because I have yet to see it. It's left me with an anger I can't get rid of." So that was the question I have. Can y'all drink your water now in Flint? If you know anybody there, let me know in the comments. But obviously, from what she's saying, no, you cannot. They don't trust to drink that water because they're still dealing with some stuff. And they're not being paid the money they were promised they would be paid. For those of you who aren't aware, Flint's water crisis began in 2024 when a state-appointed emergency manager switched the city's drinking water supply from Lake Huron, water treated in Detroit, to Flint River water treated in Flint Water Treatment Plant. It was intended as a temporary cost-saving measure, but y'all, you see how much money is on the table right now. Did it really save them any money? I don't think so. So while it was intended for the cost-saving measure, it turned out to be a disastrous mistake. The Michigan Department of Environmental Quality has acknowledged it failed to require needed corrosion control chemicals as part of the water treatment process. As a result, lead leached into the drinking water from pipes and fixtures, leading to what they are dealing with right now today in 2024. There are some people that are being paid, and it's not the actual claimants that are being paid. It says, though lawyers will have to wait in line with residents for most of the more than $200 million in fees they receive, it's not true to say they haven't been paid in advance. Top lawyers in the case who worked on a contingency basis for as long as 8 years got tired of waiting for a share of their money. They asked Levy for preliminary payments and she agreed. So those lawyers were paid some money while claimants are still sitting and waiting for money to help pay medical bills or to replace water heaters in their home, whatever the situation is. That is not right, and that is not fair, and that is a still state of emergency in Flint. Michigan. They also say that Greenspan and contractors working on the claims review process and other settlement issues also bill the fund regularly, and they get paid as well. And lawyers have rung up millions more in expenses after the settlement was approved. In addition to prepaid attorney fees and expenses, just over 17 million in claims administration and related fees have now been paid from that fund, that the victims cannot get their claims even approved. Okay, more than double the roughly 8 million that had been paid at this time last year. And that's according to the records. Here are the biggest total payments that have been made from the settlement fund so far. You have partial attorney fees of $40 million plus attorney expenses of $7.1 million. $4.7 million to Archer Systems, the Houston-based company initially hired to set up the claims verification system. $5.5 million to Wolf Garrison LLC of Ohio, one of the two main firms that were unexpectedly brought in to help after significant problems were identified with the system set up by Archer. A share of that money has also gone to Pattern Data, a North Carolina company. $3.8 million to Greenspan's law firm, Blank Rome of Washington, D.C. $1.9 million to Alvarez and Marshall Disputes and Investigations. Just under $600,000 to Miriam Wallach, a Michigan attorney who serves as master guardian, working to protect the interests of children in this case. Well, Miss Miriam has gotten $600,000, y'all. Do you see that right there? She's gotten $600,000 for protecting the interests of children in the case. Greenspan cited the complexity of the claims process in accounting for the delays, noting that there are 30 different compensation categories. Many residents have had difficulty producing required documents, and there have been challenges identifying qualified representatives for many minors in the case. I would say that back up here, that Miss Miriam Wallach is unqualified to protect the interests of the children. Yet she's being paid and the children are not. The parents are not. The seniors are not. People are still dying. What is happening in Flint? I didn't realize I would be uncovering all of this when I started this story. I was just figuring, well, I'm pretty sure it's still a state of emergency going on in Flint, even if they haven't declared it or took it away. They're still dealing with a lot in Flint, you guys. It says, also after compiling mountains of data, processing it and loading it into a claims review program in January and February of 2023, the claim administrator essentially had to restart that work in March of 2023 after officials discovered major accuracy problems with the initial system. You mean the system where you're paying these companies hundreds of thousands of dollars out of that fund and the systems aren't even working? Greenspan said her office has since tried to ease the process by obtaining 2.6 million water customer billing records, 77,000 school enrollment records, 40,000 blood lead testing results, and 8,300 birth certificates, while also taking steps to ease verification of property ownership. The Flint case has some class action components, but it is also a mass tort case in which plaintiffs who were minors at the time of the lead poisoning are considered somewhat more of an individual basis than they are in the class action lawsuit. They're calling this a bit of good news because the Flint Water Crisis Settlement Fund is growing. There is some good news. The overall pie of money is growing. In my opinion, yeah, it's growing, but nobody's getting any of it. As I stated earlier in the video, the fund is expected to reach $45 million by mid-April, Greenspan told the status conference. See, they're excited about it because they're getting paid. They're still getting paid. So yeah, they're happy that fund is growing because that's more money that they can still get. And other settlements are pending. $8 million from engineering from land in a deal awaiting final approval, and a tentative $25 million settlement reached with Veolia North America, a Boston-based engineering firm that was hired by Flint to work on the drinking water system. And of course, they're getting paid. That motion up for consideration by levy on March 14th will leave only $100,000 for Flint residents. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. So you trying to tell me the fund has millions of dollars in it, but everybody is getting their cut. Everybody is getting their cut except for the Michigan residents? They only going to have $100,000? Let me reread that. I'll be back. Yep. That's what it says. It says attorneys already have asked for $7.9 million. Mind you, they're getting paid the whole time since this whole situation took place in when it was proved in 2021 for the settlement money. They've been getting paid. Attorneys have been getting paid. Contractors have been getting paid. Everybody been getting paid. But the residents have not been getting paid. So attorneys are now asking for even more money. They already have asked for $7.9 million in a motion connected to the $8 million LAN payout. So they know more money coming in, more money, more money, more money. Okay, they know it's coming in. So they done put in a little request for more money. That motion up for consideration by levy on March 14th would leave only $100,000 for Flint residents to split, if they can get it. This is criminal. This is just criminal, but they made it legal. But it's so criminal. It's so wrong. It's so wrong to do these people like this. Y'all can let me know what y'all think in the comments. I hadn't read this thing before reading it with you guys. And it's horrible. I almost can't finish this article. But it says the motion filed in connection with the LAN case expenses recommends paying them for the interest earned on the settlement fund. Top attorneys have also asked for a similar share of the interest as what was approved off the top of the settlement fund itself, a common benefit fee of 6.33%. That would amount to about $2.8 million of the $45 million in earned interest. These people are making millions of dollars off the back of victims, and they don't care. They don't care. Back in June of 2023, the Michigan attorneys general protested what these lawyers are asking for, because he's saying that's controversial. These lawyers asked for a cut of the earned interest back in June. And the attorney general is saying, look, that earned interest can be used to pay the cost of claims administration. Any interest left over should benefit Flint residents, not attorneys already awarded handsome fees. They're already being paid off top, and they're wanting more. They want more. And when that more is coming from out of what the Flint residents are supposed to be getting, I don't even know if all of the Flint residents even know about this. So share this video so they'll know about this, because this is insane. And this came out of USA Today. Okay, and the Michigan Attorney General Office has since gone quiet on the issue, probably out of fear of losing the job. After lawyers reminded the court that when the AG's office signed off on the settlement agreement, it promised to take no position on attorney fees and expenses unless asked to do so by a judge. So they told him to pipe down. Okay, we're going to ask for this money. Y'all going to give us this money, and the Flint residents going to get whatever's left, crumbs. People of Flint probably don't know all the behind the scenes, because they're doing all of this behind closed doors by the special master and judge, but are not placed on public records anywhere. The lawyers are saying that case law is on their side. And in the meantime, back in September of 2023, Levy approved the payment to attorneys for $1.2 million in common benefit fees related to a fund set aside for programming. She allowed lawyers a proportional cut of the interest earned. Y'all, let me know what y'all think in the comments down below. This had a twist and a turn to it that I did not expect. I just wanted to know, could the people drink the water now? Are they getting their funds that they were promised? And I got the answer to both of those. And the answer is no. No, they can't really drink the water. Some of them still using bottled water. And no, they have not gotten any payments because they have too many hurdles to jump through. They're filling out forms and having to have social security numbers, birth certificates, school records, proof of residency, and more and more and more items that they have to have. Meanwhile, the people on top, the rich are getting richer, and the poor are getting poorer and dying because of the lead poisoning. Let me know what you think in the comments. Share this video out because more people need to know that apparently crime does pay. And it's paying big.
I've been giving you the worst. Now you wanna stay the night.